totally awesome. You're really getting it, Azuriel. Azuriel!
Cool moves. Your Azuriel sure is getting strong.
Pikachu!
Seems like your training with Azuriel's going well.
It was going great, but the waves went flat. They were nice and big a little while ago.
Maybe tomorrow.
I guess. But how am I supposed to know if they're going to be big or not?
I don't know. Hey, look at Pikachu. Pikachu was sitting there a minute ago and not getting wet at all. I wonder what happened.
The tide must be changing.
Weird.
Azuriel!
Don't worry. Why don't we call Siara and see if she knows about this?
Hi, Ash. Hi, Misty. What's up?
I really want to help my Azuriel learn how to surf, but the waves went flat. I really want to keep training my Azuriel. Is there a way I can tell what the ocean will be like tomorrow?
Sure there is. Have you checked the weather?
Well, it's sunny and clear. You'd think that'd be good for training.
True, but it's the wind that can affect how big or small waves are going to be. The longer the wind blows, the bigger a wave will be. When the wind blows over the ocean surface, it tries to pick up some of the water and causes it to rise. Gravity pulls the wave back down, but the momentum from the wave's energy pushes the water back up, making even more waves.
Wow, all that can happen just from the wind? Achoo!
That's right. On a windy day, you'll have bigger waves, and on a calm day, you'll have smaller waves. And if you've got a steady wind, one that keeps blowing and doesn't let up, then you'll get some real big waves.
Cool. So is that why Pikachu got wet standing at the edge of the water, even though Pikachu didn't move? The wind made the waves come up on shore?
Not exactly. What you're describing sounds like the tide. The tide is caused mostly by the gravitational force between the moon and the earth. Tides start far out in the ocean and then move toward the coastlines, where they appear as the rise and fall of the water's surface.
The theory probably applies to our world. Oh, so the beach would look like it's getting smaller?
At high tide it would. Gravity is the force that pulls things together in the universe, kind of like a magnet's force can pull two objects together. It's the gravitational force of the moon that causes the ocean to bulge out in the direction of the moon. But another bulge occurs on the opposite side, since the moon is pulling the earth away from the water on the other side. So as the earth rotates, our position changes in relation to the moon. When your position on the earth and the position of the moon are in line with each other, that's high tide. And when your position on the earth is perpendicular, about 90 degrees from where you see the moon, that's low tide. The tide usually rises for about 6 hours and then falls for another 6 hours because of the Earth's rotation. So most coastal areas experience 2 high tides and 2 low tides every day.
Awesome! So you only have to wait 6 hours until the next high tide.
Let's explore some more to figure out the best ocean conditions for training Azuriel.
Can you figure out when the tide will be high or low? Rotate the Earth to create a high tide. That's right. When the moon is in line with my position, I'll experience a high tide. When will the tide be low? Rotate the Earth to create a low tide. That's right. When the moon is perpendicular to me and the beach, I'll experience a low tide.
Now, can you help me work on training Azuriel to surf with waves?
Choose the picture of strong wind or weak wind to create the waves she needs.
Misty needs big waves to train her Azuriel. Can you help her?
You got it. The stronger the wind is, the bigger the waves will be.
Actually, I need even bigger waves than that. What could give us bigger waves?
Choose the picture of wind blowing for a longer time or wind blowing for a shorter time to create the waves she needs. You got it. The longer and stronger the wind blows, the bigger the waves will be.
And now I want to go swimming, but I want smaller waves. What would cause smaller waves?
You got it. The weaker the wind is, the smaller the waves will be.
Awesome! I'm ready to start training my Azurill again. But different moves call for different conditions. Will you help me?
Now, how would you create similar conditions to the ones Misty needs? Rotate the Earth and drag the wind over the ocean to create the ocean conditions needed.
Misty needs big waves and a high tide. You got it! Misty needs small waves and a low tide. You got it! Misty needs small waves and a high tide. You got it! Misty needs big waves and a low tide. Awesome!
Thanks, you guys. Now I know how to use the tide and waves for optimal training. I can't wait to use Azurill for my next battle at Cerulean Gym. Azurill!
Yeah, and in the future, Pikachu won't get all wet from the high tide.
Pikachu! Maybe we could all use some more training, especially now that the wind is picking up.
Well, except for me. I'm pretty much an expert on ocean conditions.
A wet expert.
Try again. Remember, the gravitational force of the moon and Earth causes the ocean to bulge out on both sides of the Earth. Try again. Remember, a low tide occurs in between the bulges. Try again. Remember that the longer and stronger the wind blows, the bigger the waves will be. Try again. Remember that the longer and stronger the wind blows, the bigger the waves will be. Try again. Remember that the less wind there is, the smaller the waves will be. Huh?
Try again.
Huh?
Try again. Try again.
Try again. Remember, the gravitational force of the moon and Earth causes the ocean to bulge out on both sides of the Earth.